Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. I never thought I would see this book again. I'm at a half-price bookstore, and this is the algebra book that I used when I was in seventh grade. I actually took the class when I was in sixth grade because I was ahead of my class, and I still remember my teacher. I drove her nuts because I was doing so well in the class and I was sometimes very arrogant. One time we were studying for a test and we had played some kind of a Jeopardy game, and I always made sure to bet the highest I could because I was so arrogant. I got every question right, but I drove my team insane because I was risking everything and I got them all right. I was just really arrogant. And, I never thought I would see this book ever again. A lot of memories. We ended up competing in math counts. Myself and three of my classmates ended up competing in math counts. Now, during the time, I was a big fan of Robert Stack's Unsolved Mysteries. I still am. And I used to love to think that anything bad that happened was an unsolved mystery. One day, in the classroom, I forgot to turn off our graphing calculator, and the battery died. And our teacher was so upset about it. And I was upset that she made a big deal out of it. So one day, while my teacher was away at lunch, I went back to the classroom. I turned on all of the calculators and drained all of the batteries. The next day, none of the calculators worked. And when my teacher couldn't figure out what had happened, I claimed it was an unsolved mystery. Do 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 do. Why did all the calculators in Mrs. Swanson's classroom malfunction on a Friday afternoon after lunch? And I started portraying Robert Stack, and this upset the teacher even more. I think she knew I did it. It upset the teacher even more that now I was playing Robert Stack in an unsolved mystery segment. And we went to the math counts contest, and my dad chaperoned myself and the other classmates to the trip. While at the hotel in Harrisburg, my dad wanted to call my mom and my brother. This was long before the days of cell phones. You had to go downstairs to deposit some money onto your room account so you could use the hotel phone. And so he gave me his credit card, and I went downstairs to the hotel lobby to give the number to the front desk. And as I'm doing that, I realized there's an arcade room in the hotel, and I decided to go in there to play for a little bit. And I look on the ground. I couldn't believe what I saw. It was a crumpled up piece of paper. I thought it was something related to math counts. Maybe it was some kind of a question for the next day. One of the Easter eggs that the contest had left. And so I picked it up, not really thinking very much of it. Let's see what's going on. And I unfolded it. I couldn't believe it. It was a $20 bill. And I went back upstairs. When I got to the elevator, I couldn't breathe anymore. I was that excited. It was like I had it was like I had found gold. Uh-oh. I'll have to get that later. It was like I had found gold. And well, $20 at the time was a respectable amount of gold, right? This was 2000, 2001 we're talking about. So it was like I found a very small gold coin. Actually, not quite that small for that time in history, right? And I went back to my room and I bragged to my dad, look what I found. My dad, who's normally a pretty honest guy, was very upset that I would think that was a good thing, that I had found money that somebody had lost, and he was really upset. And the next morning, that's all I wanted to talk about at the at breakfast when we were getting ready for the contest. And so I was bragging to all of my classmates and singing the unsolved mystery tune. Do 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 do. Who lost $20 at Math Counts Harrisburg in 2000? At this hotel. You know, what are how are they doing and stuff like that. And my dad said, "You better be quiet because the person who lost it might be sitting among us." And he was really upset that I would be so boastful about it. Now, as we were leaving the cafeteria to go to a different part of the hotel, the elevator door opened. And I used to really be fascinated with elevators. And I made a run for the door and I rode it up to the 12th floor. I think the hotel had 12 floors, and then back down. And by the time the door opened on the first floor, my dad as well as Mrs. Swanson were so upset. And because we were getting ready for the math counts competition, I decided to turn that into a math problem. If the elevator takes however many seconds to go from the first floor to the 12th and then back, how fast was the average speed? It's something to that effect. And Mrs. Swanson and I decided to actually try to estimate that. And so we had a good time making that calculation, and it took Mrs. Swanson's mind off of the unsolved mysteries and the elevator ride and the high speed chase and all of that fun stuff. Oh, this is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.